Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on the streak. It's been 12 unbeaten games with Grandmaster Arkady Naiditsch. He's on fire, winning the games back to back. Hopefully, we will continue the legacy of Witches today as well. Arkady, how are you doing? Tell us
Very
your
good,
feelings
thanks.
before today's matches.
No feelings, to be honest. We play on niches, we have some fun, we comment. No feelings at all. That's why today, very interesting World Cup results. We have Donchenko beating finally Le Congliem. I was very impressed. Huge result for the German player as well, that Shankland would win his match against Dubov. I would not guess it.
Especially
Also
in
very
fast time
convincingly.
control.
Yes. So many surprises. Very, very interesting to follow. Just 8 players left, and I think there are 3 spots for the candidates. So the next match is so decisive. It's gonna be very, very exciting in the World Cup, yeah.
How many German players are out there left?
I think only Donchenko, no? Svane is out,
Vincent
Blue is out, Vincent
also is
also out,
out.
so just Donchenko,
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting, it's going to be indeed. Actually, Sam Shanklin did win quite convincingly against Rapport, fast time control, and Dubov as
Yes,
well,
yes,
which
yes. Huge shape. He's in a
is,
huge shape, yeah.
well,
Unbelievable, yeah.
he's definitely trying to make a comeback right now because he has dropped a significant amount of rating points lately, and it seems like he's back in action, no doubt.
Yes, yes, yes. Very, very interesting. Okay, Georgi, so let's play like we did it yesterday. Let's play some games, then let's check some games, and then let's play some games again.
Yes, let's make it work. Think we are all set. Let me just the one little detail and we will be good to go. Just want to make
Okay.
sure everything is fine on the stream. It seems like so we can do that. I have added a little details to the stream as well to encourage people to subscribe even more. Only the ones which are subscribed can write a comment, which is a big one. Definitely. Okay. All right.
For non-subscribers, they cannot write a comment.
No, it's important for them to be subscribed. If they want to reach out to us and everything, all it takes is just one click.
That's true.
And that's it. So it's not
Not
that
too much.
complicated, right?
I agree.
All set. Okay, we have the
Okay.
link here as well. Everything is set. Let's start.
I turn off my sound, and yeah, let's play. Let's play a couple of games.
Go on. Let's do that. Okay, let's see how today it will be going. Last time it was relatively successful. Many games back to back victories. And let's check it out today how things will go. Will they reach to 2700? That is the question of the day. Playing with the white pieces against CLP. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but from Germany. And we have got the moves coming real quick. Scandinavian defense. And with this setup, actually, don't take on c6 in the situations. It's going to be really terrible, and your opponent might get early advantage. So the pieces are turning in, isolated pawn, having some advantage. He really wants to push for d5 at some point as well. Potentially, he could just try to bring the rook on c1. There are some rook d3, rook g3 ideas, rook lift as well. Bishop takes f6. What's the idea? Maybe after bishop takes, there might be d5 somewhere. But in the current situation, oh, knight takes f7. Such a beautiful tactical shot. If rook takes, there is queen e6, attacking everything at once. Let's see how black is going to deal with it. Knight d5 doesn't work because we are going to take it. How else? Is this rook going to be defended? That's a question of the day. Queen can go far away because of queen b6, and there comes knight c4. Okay, well, maybe white will just go for bishop takes c4, trade it off, but no, a4 looks better because the knight on c4 is a little bit shaky, so if white manages to get rid of the b5 pawn, things will be much easier. So let's see. After a4, if b takes, there will be automatically bishop c4. c4 knight can't go anywhere at all at the moment, so it will be much easier for white to press. Black really will try to trade off the queens as soon as possible, but even the move like queen e7 wouldn't really work, because at the end of the day, it's not about the rook. The knight will be terribly hanging on c4 as well. Black is taking his time, figuring out what to do. Potentially, there might be some queen c8 idea as well, interesting approach, because if the pieces get traded, let's say even after knight takes b5, at least the c4 knight is defended. But there is bishop c4, rook c4, knight d6 in any case as well. So, okay, queen c8 is on the board as we thought, but there is takes, captures at the end of the day. And after knight b5, the catch is that there is some bishop c4, knight d6 ideas as well. So Arkady probably will consider trading off the queens too. It's not that bad option in this case. Let's have a look. So let's say bishop c4, queen takes c4. Okay, he decides to keep the queens on the board. Maybe queen c6 is a little bit of a challenge because it goes after the king. But then white can include the move d5 as well. This rook e7, allowing the rook to get activated, not so pleasant. But we'll just check it out what comes next. Sidestepping with the king, knight b2. That's a rough start. It was a little bit unpleasant, knight b2. How is white going to play now? Let's say maybe queen g3. It's possible it's such an unpleasant move though. Probably Arkady expected after takes it that there will be pawn takes back and to simplify the position there on spot. But okay, rook down, or perhaps some kind of technical chances, maybe some knight b5 or knight d5 ideas, opposite colored bishops or something. But okay, well, objectively this position looks bad. And rook a4, black is trying to go after the pawn on d4 as well. Unfortunately, low on time, so there is not much opportunities at this point. So I believe the situation will be quite tough to play on. Yeah, that is an unfortunate game. After rook a4, rook b1, b4, any chances, maybe something, some kind of tricks. Okay, it's mandatory to free up the flank down there, just because some back rank issues might appear all of a sudden, out of nowhere. So this move is essential, but I don't think it's going to do much, unfortunately. And this position doesn't look promising. First defeat, unfortunately, it's okay. We're continuing. Maybe there was a rematch, or no, there is another game against 15-year Capitan from Russia. King's Indian setups seems like is a trademark and is the main weapon during the streams, what will be used. And I think b3, bishop b2 setups are very simple actually to play, because black has very easy play, bishop g4, d takes c4 ideas, d4 pawn will be under attack as well. And many things will be coming down the road, which is amazing, just to say, for black. There is no question about equalizing it or not. I think black is doing an absolutely phenomenal job here. So let's say d takes c4, b takes, no, rook c8 there. Okay, so queen a5 or queen b6 idea will be on there. a3, let's go back. h3, perhaps we can take on f3, knight takes f3. And either knight e4 idea or d takes c4, knight a5 is an option as well. Yes, indeed, he goes for it on the board. c5, b6 even might be fine, along with knight c4. Okay, knight c4, probably bishop c3, knight d5 as well. Queen needs to get activated for white for sure. It's time just to attack this guy along with this. What is there? Some tactical shots. Knight c3 is one of the moves, but anything better? b5. Okay, so if queen takes b5, what was the main plan? If knight c3 just goes there, perhaps maybe taking there later. This knight got a little bit stuck, but rook takes c5. That's a nice opportunity indeed. And what comes next? After queen b4, he can try to move the rook away somewhere, I guess. Or bishop d4. Is it too bad though? Not sure. Bishop d4, if it existed, maybe it was okay. Queen c4, he can even take the pawn on d4 and play this ending with an extra pawn, especially if the pieces get traded. We have got the major pieces endgame, where objectively with very easy, I would say the best play probably should be a draw, but definitely not trading off the minor pieces will work out well for black. e6 a nice move. There is no knight g5 coming. Now this bishop on b6 looks amazing. f3 knight isn't doing anything. Tries to double up the rooks, maybe go after the pawn on a3. We will never say no to that. Why? Rook d8. What is White going to do now, though? Looks a bit challenging. a4. Wait, is there some kind of f5 idea? It won't work right away. So rook d1 simply takes. Trading off the pieces only will benefit black because black has just an extra pawn, and it's time to break through sooner or later. Queen comes to c5. All good. Knight e5. After knight e5, maybe something like rook d2. Yes, on the board. Queen f4. Queen f4 is the problem. Is it? Because if takes... Yeah, rook d2 probably was not the best. Hi, let's play. My name is... hello, welcome on board. Thanks for joining. On this stream, we will not be playing with the subscribers, but there will be a special stream. We're waiting to reach 100 subscribers, and then maybe we might plan something. It is not in the plans yet. This queen f4, though. Rook d2 looked such an logical way to play, and queen f4 just came out of nowhere at all. What a pity. White needs to give up the rook because there was this queen coming there, queen c7. Okay, there still will be some chances just because the knight is in 2 pawns, so it's not clear at all. Especially black doesn't have that many weaknesses, and black has the opportunity to play on time. So not necessarily, I would say, bringing the rook on d2 was the main mistake. Otherwise, there were some other opportunities as well. Queen d7 is a good shot, attacking this one, and at the same time, if white somehow gets the pawn, if black somehow gets the pawn on a4, it's going to be amazing. In knight c5, we need to be cautious, but there will be this check incoming. But if there is rook f1 and rook c1. Yes, that's very annoying. Let's see what we got. Let's say check goes there, and what's next? Maybe queen d6. Queen d6, perhaps. Let's see. How many minutes we will play? We will not play in this stream, but thank you for the offer, though. We will have special stream dedicated for that. Now we're just trying to grind up. Bishop c7, that's a practical try. Some checks, maybe some tricks. If queen d1, king comes up on f2. Maybe h4 at some point, bishop g3. Now things are getting a bit messier because white's king is in the center. And at some point, some opportunities might rise up already, which is a good sign. Especially h4 is good. Queen can take because bishop g3 is coming later. Queen e2. Okay, let's give a check, maybe include the bishop in action, and then some checks will be starting up. It's just the time is getting really close. It is important to play fast as well. We are reaching to bullet territory. Both players below 30 seconds after king d3. What do we have right there? White is trying to put everything on the light squares, but queen a1 is a nice move. Maybe e5 at some point. Use the pawn as well, just to cause some special problems. Queen going here, queen d1 idea. It's essential to speed up right now, just kind of throw the pieces around, maybe potentially make some pre-moves as well. Queen b1, rook c2, e5 at some point should be played, and then maybe queen d4 ideas. Okay, let's see, time. It's not a good situation by any means, but it is possible to break through probably. Okay, king comes here or here, it doesn't really matter that much. 1 second, queen b8, Painful start, but we are going to make a comeback. Let's get back to another game. Solo Maestros with the black pieces. I guess the King's Indian setup will be on the board. London system. Actually quite popular and famous continuation with h4, which is a bit early in my opinion. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Probably some kind of hybrid version of it. But black doesn't even bother playing h5 because it's unnecessary. If h5, knight h5, sacrifice the rook into the knight is not that great. So after a6, b5 coming, bishop b7, rook c8, there are plenty of good opportunities for black, especially white puts the bishop on c4, which is quite weird though. Bishop b7, or there is bishop f7 perhaps, and going for that. He had this opportunity, bishop f7. That's a bad one if it will be happening. But let's say takes, check, and the king can go on g8. If knight goes on e6, the queen can get developed. So it's probably not a big deal if white wanted to do that. They were supposed to think about it one move earlier, but in the current situation, there is no opportunities to attack on the king that easily. h5, we would gladly take over the knight and take the exchange. Rook c8, maybe b4 ideas, perhaps queen a5 will be on the radar, maneuvering the knight. Okay, takes it, that actually looks fine, just at some point we need to bring the knight in action. Maybe some queen a5 ideas with rook c3 or b4. Rook takes c3, we have a typical Sicilian sacrifice. I really was looking forward to see that move yesterday as well, but now here we have it on the board. d5, so he really wants to positionally dominate against this bishop and not let him get anything. I think e6 will be absolutely fine at this point. Yes, indeed. By the way, I'm even thinking if you trade off the queens, it's quite unclear what's going to happen. Why not just take it with the knight? Let's say, is there anything? Rook e6 just takes, king takes, and we're going to take here. A pawn too, because after knight h5, probably bishop d5 was the key idea, but it still looks quite good for black. Okay, f4, f5, I think will be something what white wants to try. But after that, black has this option of playing queen c7, hitting the main weaknesses, maybe potentially a5, a4 idea as well, depending on the occasion, we will see it. So rook h4, queen a5 on the board, just in case of f4, queen putting on c7 was preferable, but a5 also looks great, of course, attacking here. And what else? Let's say king comes up, rook c8 idea will be there, attacking the pawn on c3 too. What is exactly white going to do? White proposes a take back. What is a take back? Probably white wanted to take on h5 perhaps, but here do not allow the take backs, ladies and gentlemen. It's never a pleasant thing to do. It happened to me a couple of times that I actually messed up something. It was a clear misclick, but my opponents never let me take it back. So do not do that. You'll be quite disappointed. b4, it's time to open up the files. Pawn takes, queen takes, maybe c3 again white wants to play. No, f5 right away. It actually looks better because the pawn on d4 is well guarded. What is black going to do? Is there any a5, a4? Let's see, takes. Maybe it's time to push it, but knight b6, knight c4, or knight a4. That's a really nice looking move. This knight on f6 defends the king for now, and there is a good opportunity of bringing the knight there or on c4, depending on white exactly will be doing. Besides, black is already ahead in time. Oh, there might be a checkmate somewhere along the way already. Wait a moment. King b1 is the threat. Knight e3, just simply no need to do anything special. If queen takes, just grab the pawn on e6. Whenever you have a lot of extra time on the clock, it's not worth it. Maybe just include 2 checks, perhaps to activate the queen slightly will not be that bad. Or is it okay to take the rook? Yes, absolutely, it's going to be fine. Okay, what else? King takes even will be okay. Rook f8, everything is fine here. Like it's just up a rook, and that's going to be the first victory. Now we're talking. After a tough start, it's time to come back. Solo maestros. He really wanted to sacrifice an exchange, it seems like, but Arkady refused to go for it, and here we are. Let's see the next one. Another game started right away against Sticky, rated 2547. Okay, what do we have? Why is this Jobo London system quite popular that everyone is playing it? I have no idea, but is it really good for white to play that one though? It's very unclear. Bishop b4 might be on the radar at the moment. D takes c4 not as much, but bishop b4 looks good. You can tuck the knight back and continue with c5 later. Knight e4 even right away. Hang on. You can just take a pawn, right? Isn't it a free pawn? At this point, it does look like it. Maybe even castle will be okay. Or tucking the bishop back. And then at some point, c5 ideas breakthrough. It doesn't look like white is getting much out of it. Because, okay, maybe a little bit of compensation he might have, but nothing definitely major. Because black is doing really great. Let's say c6, c takes d5. Maybe even e takes d5 will be okay. c5? White is trying to close up the files. That is a little bit unexpected, though. It felt like something else was preferable, but moving the bishop back and making sure that some d6 ideas will be in there. It's time to break through. Yes, indeed, on the board. Pawn takes we can take back and then go with c5 ideas. But if we take it, on the other hand, the knight is getting the d4 outpost, which might not be worth it. Rakari doesn't rush to make a castle because of queen d3 right away. So let's see how he will deal with these movements. Rook e3, queen e7. That's a good one. Just attacking the pawn on c5 and forcing white to make a decision. Rook c3. Okay, if that was the main intention of white to activate the rook because of that, it's really crazy. Okay, for queen d3, at least there is g6 for now. We will be defending everything. But what is next? Let's say after g6, potentially h4. Is f5 a move? Probably that's what he's calculating. Pawn takes, let's say queen takes on f6, queen h7, and king f7. It does look like for now we're safe, but there's knight e5 at the end, followed by rook f3, so it's not worth it. And h4. Does look like there might be some kind of attack coming up to the king. Perhaps it's time to open it up, but it's not going to help at all. But if pawn takes, there is rook takes. Actually, it feels like this is going to be quite solid, though. Maybe the king comes on g7, or rook f8 coming up. Bishop f4 is also there in there. Taking g7, h5 is g5 working. It will actually, because if takes, there is king h8 at the end of the line. So we will be absolutely fine. Takes, queen g5, king h8. And the good news is that white still has got the pawn on h5, which automatically means that there will not be any counterplay. So rook f8 is on the way. Let's not forget about the fact that black is up a pawn. Probably white does have an interesting compensation for that, but it doesn't look like it's enough in this situation. So let's see. Goes on f8, and what is coming up for white? I'm not sure. Is knight g4 a move? Let's see, knight g4, maybe we can try rook f4. Yes, on the board, and f3. f3 looks a little bit lame, though, because now b takes c5. If rook takes, there is bishop b6, and if the pawn takes it, rook c5. That was a little bit unexpected. On that, he wants to go for this check. Possible, but okay, rook takes looks nice. Maybe queen d6 even. Why not going after this? If queen e5 trades and then bishop b6 will be there with easily winning position. I think white is forced to go for g3 right now. There's no other good way. And there, bishop b6 simply, and then pushing e5 too if the rook goes back. I think black is just so easily dominating at this point. But okay, on the other hand, if you go e5, there is rook b6, takes it, and maybe potentially d takes c5 idea as well, which also is an interesting approach. Unclear. Queen d3, white gives up the rook. Okay, because the mate was threatened. But rook f6, let's say if it comes here, another check goes up, another check, there is rook f7. Not much is changing. The rook is doing a fantastic job holding the king. And also, let's not forget about the fact that queen g3 will be there at any moment, followed by rook f4, which is going to be on the board. It seems like white has missed that. But he can try to take the pawns with the checks first. Let's grab it. It will not harm, I believe. Unless there is something. Yeah, he can start taking the pawns. Let's say king goes there. Or he's... Yes, okay. And now check. Take another pawn with the check as well. Just capture everything and then start thinking what to do. Is there a mate? Rook? Yeah, there was no mate, right? Because there was a check everything. Yeah, here we are. Another beautiful victory. It was a really nice one. Okay, so what do we have now? There going to be another one. Let's see. Waiting for the pairing. Here we are. Okay, so 2-2 already. We are back on the streak. What is this opening? Alika in defense we have got with knight c3 is an interesting version actually. Making the trades, activating the pieces, castle. It looks quite symmetrical, the pawn structure, especially after e takes d6. But white still probably has a slight plus because the knight on c6 is a little bit misplaced. So h3, what is next? Some huge attacks are coming up. rook e1 ideas. Maybe bishop f5 is a nice shot. Let's see what black is going to do against it. Okay, at queen d3 and rook e1, bishop g6. It seems like black is equalizing it. Who is this PMN 2900 bullet, which is very impressive. Yeah, we should not underestimate the skills on the mouse, actually, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important. And a lot of people are winning the games just because of that, which changes a lot of things indeed. So after knight g6, we go with queen b5, attacking the rook and the pawn at the same time. Asking for take back above never works. Yes, Duke, it is very important. Just never ask for it. In the past, I was trying to be a bit nicer guy and just accept it, perhaps if I really saw that it was a clear misclick. But then I realized that, no, it just never works. Your opponents will never be accepting it. So, like, come on. Just move on, and whenever you blunder, they're not going to do it unless you know the person and you kind of have like training matches, then yes. Okay, getting back to the game. The queens got traded off and black has a quite bad pawn structure, it seems like. Activating the king is coming in. Even taking there, is it that bad? The pawn structure will be quite demolished for black in that scenario. Knight goes back, he tries to reroute the knight. It's a long way, but it's not like black has got a ton of options. So maybe knight e2 next, even right away, or trace off the rooks first, and then going for the long road, but good one at the end of the day. Pawn takes. Yeah, this trade I have expected quite some time ago. If something, there will be bishop f4 ideas as well, just in case for the future, which adds up the value of this position. Maybe maneuvering. Okay, but there is a rook lift, which is going to be good as well. Who is going to defend all these weaknesses in the cap? Especially f4 is not coming, at least on the way, right? Yes, activating the rook. f4 isn't there yet, and white needs to seize the momentum. Here, rook gets there. Oh, this rook is going to be extremely active, and I don't feel like black will be able to hold it well. God is trying to exchange off the knights as well, just because there will be rook a6 coming up. White refuses, but the knight is ending up on a beautiful outpost regardless. After knight c5, rook is gone, and white just takes the pawn on a7, followed by c7 respectively. Kicks it out. That was a beautiful maneuver of the knight, actually, and which was also an amazing option. He went from this direction, still ended up there, and the rook lift was a pure class. He didn't let him get any chances on the flank, and now he's going all in. Bishop c7. Do we really want to give up the knight? Not really. If possible to save it will be better. Knight has a better outpost on e5. It looks like this bishop on d2 is not so good, but it does the job. It covers everything, and black just missed the opportunity that the rook is hanging. Excellent, excellent. 3 wins back to back. Getting to the 4th one. Seems like there is a rematch. And we have got the modern variation with the g6, bishop g7, and c6, b5 ideas. Let's see what will be next coming up. Knight e7, potentially knight f6, c5 ideas will be there to c3. Okay, here we go. Knight g3, what is this setup for white? Is he really going to play some kind of h4, h5 idea and go severely on the king? Maybe, but at least this position looks quite nice. Pawn goes to c5. Okay, bishop goes on b5, we go with queen a5, definitely works out well. Pawn takes, h takes. It does look like black has got some counterplay on the flank. Not sure if he's planning to take it or push the pawn forward. Maybe, okay, takes it. I see some kind of knight c5, I feel like should be coming, but there's knight d4 actually, and at the end of the line there might be annoying pressure, so black needs to look for some other opportunities as well. Here we go, queen b6, getting out of the pin. Knight e5 might be in there, rook e8 ideas, bishop b7, which actually looks fine as well. Let's see, so rook e8, knight e5. Will we have it on the board? That's the question of the day. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's quite unclear at the moment. What do we have? Knight e5. Okay, well, this trade should be comfortable for white, though. Just winning a pawn, I think, on spot. Or nothing, pretty much. So black is doing amazing. Okay, f6 knight is under pressure, but even tucking it on this direction or here, they both would look absolutely fine. So there is nothing white can do, probably. Activating the bishop, getting to the c4 outpost. Okay, that's a good one. Let's see. Queen goes back on d8. Okay, that's an interesting approach. h5, queen h4. What a queen transfer, though. If pawn takes, we take it back. There is no h6, nothing. I really like that black is controlling the time relatively well, and the things are going better. Especially compared to last time, it definitely is a rating in plus, which changes a lot of things. The motivation effect and everything at the same time. Pawn takes, we're going to take it back with the pawn. This is absolutely fine. Otherwise, some bishop g4 ideas might be in there, followed by grabbing the pawn as well. I'm not entirely sure what white is looking for right now. Maybe some knight f5 options, takes it and pawn takes back, and perhaps try to get something later, but it doesn't look like it. Feels like black is doing absolutely fine. But don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, to give it a thumbs up to the live stream and subscribe the channel if you haven't done so. We're planning to do a lot of interesting educational content, and this is just one of the entertaining stuff. So rook b5, oh, that's a good one. Takes, queen g3, and just getting 2 pieces for the rook. It was a big setback for white. I don't feel like they're going to make it come back now, and it should be over. Knight gets into the action, jumps on e4, and this position is resignable. It's better for white to not waste time, and this is exactly what happened. So things are going on. Another game coming up against Alexander Utnasunov. Let's have a look. And we have the King's Indian attack with queen e1 and e4 coming up instantly, which looks great. What's next? Knight c5. He really wants to activate this bishop to its fullest, and it does look like black managed to do it normally, but is it enough? Maybe a rook here, followed by knight d4 ideas, or even c3 could be considered, but I don't see the reason why not to play knight d4. It will hold on everything, c2 will be under a good protection, and potentially a3 ideas. Okay, queen c7 definitely wasn't a good shot. It just set on the right way. How about c3 and even b4 ideas was there? Even bishop d2, okay. Perhaps queen b6 is the only shot. Was there c3 b4 though? Maybe. But okay, what's next? Is queen b6, something now is tactically rich. Maybe queen c4 perhaps is an idea, because if takes it, there is this rook c1. It will be under attack, so is the knight. That will be like annoying pin. Bishop e3 he goes. Okay, there. About knight c2, is it that bad? There will be bishop takes it, and then this knight d5. Check is important. He can't take it because there will be some c4 ideas. But does white get something immediate? That is the question of the day. b4, here we are on display. Knight takes, there is this queen c4. I don't feel like black is going to save it. Otherwise, rook b1 opportunities are still in there, with rook b7 as well. But there should be something maybe even better. Is there any rook b5 ideas? c3? What's that? Takes and goes here? Just a blunder, it seems like, for black. That's it. Another victory. That was a nice one. It was quite weird, the structure, by the way, after knight d4 was played. It was critical to pay attention what exactly he was supposed to play. But okay, that's a good one. Many victories back to back, gaining the rating points and getting closer to 2700 territory, which is absolutely amazing. Let's have a look. We have another game coming up. Let's see. Here we are. Anger impotence. Okay, we have Sicilian with queen b6. This variation was a favorite of Garry Kasparov. Used this a lot. Let's see how things go with a6, potentially b5 ideas, putting the bishop on e7. I remember back in the day, it was quite popular in Georgia to play this queen b6, queen c7 setup. It is quite unique, and your opponents might not be aware of how to play against it. There's a huge chance for that. So a5, a4 coming, bishop e7, castle is also an idea. Let's have a look. Oh, that's a typical sacrifice. Bishop e2, which actually works out absolutely fine. What's next? Okay, that was an easy victory. Easy victory indeed. Bishop e4, bishop f3, and white just resides just in 15 moves. The game is finished. So, too many games, getting closer to 2500 territory, sorry, 2700 territory. Amazing run, no doubt. Let's have a look how things will be and who's the next opponent. Let me check if the game started. Yes, against Forester 19 from Catalonia, which has 3000 bullet rating. That's a huge one, ladies and gentlemen, in case you were wondering. 3000 rating is not a joke in any time format. White is pressing, activated pieces. It seems like the similar thing happened exactly. The main difference is that this time Marcari tried with knight c3, knight e2, pressing the pawn forward, getting the counterplay on the king side. Let's have a look how things turn out. After g4, knight g3, maybe d4. It's usually not that recommended. White really wants to go for all in into the attack. And let's see how things work out. Bishop b6, maybe there is knight g3, knight h5, knight f3. Here we go. Okay, so about the d4, f5 idea, no, knight g3 is there on display. If d4, f5 opportunities as well is always there, and it's essential. But why not, let's say, pushing f5, pawn takes it. It is definitely the main threat. So black tries to play f6, trying to make a breakthrough, because if this pawn will be coming, that's going to be a bad news. So f6, c3. Okay, what's the next one? Black's knights look quite bad on d7 and c7. One of them at least should be standing on c6 to get some kind of counterplay. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to give the live stream a thumbs up. Just click the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. It supports us a lot. We recently started, and you know how tough it is on early stages developing the channel. So help us to get there. F takes c5, knight takes c5. What is next? Knight takes c5 and d takes c5 is good. Knight ends up on a beautiful outpost after knight f6. Maybe f takes c6. Oh, g5. Here we go. The pieces are getting into the action. F takes c6, knight f5 ideas also will be in there. Why not? Pawn takes. Okay, attacks knight. Perhaps something like this, or knight d7 should be good enough. I don't think black can just save this position normally. That looks amazing. And after knight d7, what's going to happen? Say knight can't take it because it's pinned. Otherwise, the rook is under pressure. Black's piece is a little bit chaotic in this situation. Perhaps rook e8 still is the best shot. Bishop b2 instead. Black is going for the counter attack. Okay, but their taking is okay. And then what? Specifically, something must be here. How about this? Just attacking both. Takes it and potentially e7, but no, it probably will not work as well. Rook b1 is another idea, but there comes knight c3. Something like bishop d5 is an interesting approach with the intention of e7. No, instead he goes for it right away. Okay, we will see. Okay, that's a good one, because if takes it, bishop takes here, and queen d5, queen b5 idea will be in there. So that was tactically correct idea, because the king is so exposed and white is using this opportunity. Queen can't come up because there will be capture followed by bishop d5. That's why this move works out very well. And let's see, the queen e8. It's maybe possible to take, and here we go. Just queen is defending it surprisingly. So rook e1, queen b7 will be a good option, right? At some point, why not? And what is going on next? Seems like white is getting another brilliant victory, and black stands no chance. Something fancy maybe now, the bishop getting there, or some... Actually, this doesn't look too bad either. Activates the knight. What's next? Rook f8, and just wins the game. Even taking the knights, or rook f1, both of them will be good. Rook f1 does the job. No questions asked. And black still continues playing, which is a bit surprising to me. But he's going to resign right now. Another brilliant win. Back to back. I don't know how many games at this point already. Just a tough start, but the rest worked out very well. So it seems like 7 victories back to back is paying off, no doubt. Let's see if we have another game coming up. So here we are with 2691 getting to 2700 territory. Journey to the peak 96 with 2800 rating. And this time we have got the Sicilian with the g6 and early c3, sort of delayed Alpine version and knight a3, knight b5. These variations are always so tricky to play, ladies and gentlemen. It's never clear when you're going to push the pawn on a6, how you need to play it, and even knight takes a7, like nothing matters. He just takes the pawn for nothing. Queen e6, even grabbing the bishop on c8, I think should be good, or bishop c4 inclusion first. Why not? We're not against it. Then knight c8 idea will be in there. If queen g2, there is knight e7. Or he can try to do something, because for now this knight is well guarded. Maybe even a castle is not that bad idea. Or knight c8, he just takes it. And if the rook takes, well, can he try to make a castle? Okay, but there's knight e7. Yeah, just terrible blunder for white. But, you know, he played quite fast. Maybe it was planned? I don't think so. It does look like white just has an extra piece. Okay, what's the threat? Even bishop takes f7 works, right? Yes, queen d8. Here we go. Rook e7, there is queen d8, and there is nothing black can do in this situation. So what? Let's say rook e7, queen d8, rook goes back on f8. It's just raising the white flag at this point, because white has got just simply an extra piece and no compensation at all. Everything is well guarded. Queen takes d5, queen takes back, queen g4, and h3 is a nice little move, just making a castle on the next one. And besides, there is no queen h3 because of knight g6 and rook h1. That's a good one. See what black has got now. It's unclear. I think it's kind of resignable at this point, but okay, here we are. 2691. Getting close to 2700 territory. Let's check it out. Another game. Back to back, how many victories? 8 wins. Against Burma, 555. Okay, h5 on the board with the idea of h4. So white chose English opening with the g3, bishop g2 early. Okay, d5, bishop b4, bishop d2. I'm not sure exactly who will benefit from it. Queen e7. Looks like a double-edged version, perhaps at some point. Knight h3, knight f4 idea should be a d6. Maybe he will try to bring the knight in action on d7 and e5 later. Why not? And if the knight gets there, perhaps some knight d3 ideas, or bishop g4, knight f3 will be in there. Let's see. It's quite unclear how white responds, because it does look like when the knight joins in action on e5, white will struggle a lot in this situation. So knight g5, rook e8. Okay, what's next? Sure. Maybe knight d7, knight e5 is an idea. Or if d takes c6, we will take it back with the pawn. Not sure, actually. Maybe castle? Perhaps. and we can just try to bring the knight in any case. Rook b1, b4, I don't feel like is going to be good for white at all. It even opens up the rook coming back on a7. I feel like castle was supposed to play a little bit earlier. It just creates the weaknesses on the way. Even d5 works at this point. The pawn is well guarded on e4, so the knight is joining in action. Knight e5, knight d3 will be coming up. How does white handle this position? Very, very unclear at this point, and I'm not sure at all what he's going to do. So what? Let's say knight e5, knight c4, even on d3. Knight b5 is a good option, but maybe just include rook c8 and then knight e5 idea. Or bishop b6 doesn't look that bad either. Yes, here we go. If knight c7, there is rook c8 regardless, going after this piece. Otherwise, knight d4, taking the bishop. The thing is that if takes, e3, queen captures there. And is he going for it? Maybe the d2 pawn will be quite tough to beat. Oh, he chooses another approach where he activates the knight. In any case, which is also a good one. He doesn't have to get activated from e5, right? Queen c5. Okay, keeping the queens on the board, because there will be this knight c4 and rook c8 idea, and the queen might end up getting trapped, though. Is it really the case? I guess we will figure it out. As the queen goes back on e2, still found the square, but it's not that promising. Bishop b5 will be coming, knight a3, potentially knight e3 as well. It just looks perfect. Bishop g4 is a good shot, hitting the queen. And where is the queen going? Queen e1. Okay, we can just probably try to maneuver. Okay, I see. Another one coming. f3 also is not a good move because black takes it and the bishop on e3 is hanging. Otherwise, these knights look quite good, no doubt. Controlling the file, maybe getting the access to somewhere along the way. Perhaps it's time to activate the queen too at this point. What else white has got? It's possible to take it at knight c4 regardless. Okay, because it does create a lot of weaknesses, and at least now the queen is activated. Bishop f1. Yeah, actually, we don't really want to give up this knight, which is true. So what should be done? But on the other hand, let's pay attention to the fact that white is so low on time. And here we have rook b8, attacking this pawn on b4 as well. White has a lot of weaknesses on the king side too, but somehow this bishop needs to come back in action. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's doing much. Perhaps some move like, okay, rook c8, maybe queen a4 is his idea. It does look like white kind of have stabilized it. Bishop f3, here we are. Maybe maneuvering the queen on g4 square will give some counterplay, but there is no way that white is going to survive with this amount of time, like below 15 seconds versus what, like 1 minute and 9 seconds, and even with 9 seconds on the clock. Yeah, that's just going to be an easy victory. Just kind of shuffle the pieces around, don't do much. There is no increment, ladies and gentlemen, bear in mind. White even lets the clock run out. That's very good. And getting too close to 2700 though, just one game away. And here we are, 2699. And we have got what? Knight f3, d5, and reversed Jobawa London system. I'm not sure why this is so popular nowadays. Is there any famous streamer or anyone which is advocating this setup? I have no idea, but it definitely works out very well. So queen b3 looks like it's an easy game for white, just attacking everything. Okay, black found an interesting approach of this knight a5 and holding everything together, which is interesting too as well. But knight e5 is the pawn on c6. a5 knight is a little bit offside, so white will try to go for knight c3, bishop f4 idea later as well, which is going to be much better situation. Otherwise, what else black is going to do? Rook c8, maybe. b3, okay, I see. Develops the bishop, goes for knight d2, knight f3 idea, which is not too bad either. Bishop b1. Is it really that good? Trade of the bishop into the knight? Very unclear and dubious decision. I was going to deal with the c6 weakness. White will pile up everything, of course, against this. We'll activate the queen, double up the rook, and get everything needed in this position. So what is Black going to do? Queen b6. For now, protecting it, but probably not for long. E3 looks good. Just activate the queen. h4, g4, g5. In the World Cup, we have seen a lot of this kind of moves. Maybe Arkady is planning to do that. He understood that Black is focusing too much on the c6 weakness, and if you will have 150 pieces defended for it, it's time to strike on the other side of the board. So he goes for h4, g4, f4 on display as well. And what is going on right now? f6 is impossible because of knight c6, and or even rook takes c6 will be fine as well. I feel like that should be much better or winning for white. g5 coming on the next move. Not clear what Black is going to do right now. Bishop e7, attacking the piece back. Some tactics maybe at this point. Even g5 is fine, I believe. Queen e1 instead. He stabilizes it easily. Knight d6. Where does it want to go? On e4. Okay, anything active. Rook takes c6. That's a beautiful tactical shot. Rook takes, and there is knight d7, followed by taking care as well. Was this move available earlier too? Probably it was, but here we have it. On the second try, it works out well. Amazing sacrifice. And he takes on f8. He goes for bishop d5 as well. So now we are talking. Or is there rook c2? Rook c2, rook f2. We are fine. He's going to take on a1. It will be nothing. Even the king can take it. And if queen a2 to go for queen a1, make sure the queens will be traded. And there is nothing Black can try to hope for. But okay. This also looks very nice. Just make sure queen e1 will not be on display. So some kind of king f2 idea will be mandatory. Here we are. g5 also looks good. Because later even g6 might be a threat. This bishop on d5 is quite safe. What else is there? Is there a g6 though? I think there will be. Because if the queen tries to come down, everything will be with the checks. And if something, queen e4, queen g2 will be a defensive resource. I think he can give it a try. But he's taking his time. There are some other opportunities too. Here we have it. g6 on the board, queen h3, just take it. Either with the bishop or the pawn is also fine, I think. There will not be any issue. Yes, indeed, pawn takes it. And perhaps after king h8, queen g6 will be a good idea. And yes, we just defend everything. Queen h4, queen g3, or a king goes away. Even better. Okay, queen needs to come back. Bishop comes back. Okay. Queen is not doing anything. d5 will be coming up, and if this bishop wakes up, and also bishop a3 as well, which I think is a better shot. That d5 also has its own plus, because it returns mate. Instead, he goes bishop e4. Okay. Just trading off the queen, not even trading, winning the queen. And here we are, 2700 on this play. Amazing run, many victories back to back, and really, really good one. Arkady, can you hear us?
Yes, Georgi, hi. Finally,
such an
2-7.
amazing run, and we were waiting for that actually. It was a tough start in the beginning, but here we go.
Yeah,
how many
games
games you managed to get the victory? Let me have a look. 10
okay,
games.
It was a bad start, of course. Yeah, first I played very poorly, but yes, then improved a little bit. So for the first time, 2-7. Yes, we have now 2,700. It's a
Very
start.
good. Very
but,
good. Excellent. On our way, we should be on 2,800. Which game do you
Not
think
easy.
was the critical and the most challenging you would like to go over?
I don't know, but I think first games I just played very poorly. Very, very poorly. Also, actually, in the last game, I could have taken on c6 for so many times, no?
Yes.
Your,
yes.
yeah,
We were looking at that.
Finally, I saw it after fifth try. But
We're
the
looking
position
at
just
that.
been
It was a good
too
one.
good, yeah.
It was a really beautiful one as well. The last one, we also, this bishop e4 to trade off the queens as well. We were looking at bishop a3 ideas too, to go over the
Yes.
knight on d6. And there are plenty of opportunities, but rook c6 was very
Also,
impressive, actually. Just
but I didn't
very,
see
very
that
nice
first,
technical.
yeah. I could have played it, I don't know, for 5 moves in a row, yeah, I guess, or maybe more even.
Actually, yes. Actually,
For a
yes, it
long
was
time, yeah,
happening.
this was possible.
But definitely looked nice. Actually, we saw rook c6 just one move before, not from the beginning. That's the thing, because we were also too focused on the king side attack there, like pawns going forward and so on. But rook c6 97 is a very classy option, no
Just
doubt.
finishes. Georgi, what do you like more? You like more to comment or you like more to play? So maybe next time we change. You play.
We
I
can
comment.
try both. It's interesting both actually to check it out.
Yes.
We will see.
Okay, Georgi, so let's play a couple of more games and then let's see.
Let's do it.
What we do next,
Let's do it.
Okay, let me turn off the sound, yeah.
All right, here we go on the road to 2800. Let's see if it's possible to cross that mark. The next games are coming up. It actually gives us the rank of 333, which is quite interesting. Triple threes. And we are playing against Vitamin KA 642493 rated player from Russia. When he plays the caller system, it's one of the easiest setup indeed. Stabilizes the position and tries to simplify it. Like it's going for knight c6, takes the pawn, maybe d5, rook c8 ideas will be in there. It's possible that bishop d6 and the knight maneuver, we might see it on display. Let's have a look. Knight d5, bishop goes back. I have seen these ideas coming up. Just black is trying to control the e4 square as soon as possible. Later on, we will just check it out how things work out. Well, g6, maybe bishop g7 as well. It's quite unclear how the things will be proceeded. Rook h3, maybe bishop g7. It's possible to maneuver the knight on this step. On knight e4. Okay, if it works, it's going to be great. Thing is, it just takes, captures here. At the end of the day, white might get the pawn, but at least black gets the activity. Yes, knight c6 probably should be played, because if it takes it, there is knight d4, and after the end of it capturing, there will be this bishop e4 coming up later, so I'm not sure how well equipped white is going to be against it, so maybe knight c6 he's calculating. Is there another option of just taking here, king takes and rook h7? Is it something he's calculating? I'm not sure exactly, but knight c6 is on the board, unfortunately. The bishop c6 or he takes d3. Takes d3, does it work? That's an interesting one though. I thought it wasn't, but actually at the end of the day, knight is getting stuck. So what a move. Knight is stuck and there is nothing white can do about it. That's a beautiful one. I like it. Rook b8, just grabbing the knight, plus keeping the e2 pawn alive. That was a phenomenal calculation. Rook b8, what is white going to do now? They should be lost already at this point, because the e2 pawn will be well guarded. Otherwise, I don't see much happening for white. Let's see, rook e1, just take the knight and try to come back. Maybe king f2, rook e3. How about we just attack this guy? Bishop b4 is kind of expected, but there comes bishop here. Bishop a1. Let's take the pawn. Why not? There's no reason to not do that. Potentially bishop b4 or bishop d6 idea. Both of them will be fine. Depends on what white does. Is this pawn gone for sure? Maybe, unfortunately, but bishop c1. We can try to take the pawn from there as well. It was possible, probably. Take king f8, e2, bishop b4. That's how he wants to force the matter. If the rooks are gonna get traded, this bishop ending probably will be lost. I don't feel like white will survive because there are too many weaknesses in white's camp and black is just dominating. Here we can just take it, activate the rook, and bring the king in. e7, d6, and d5. Why not? Yeah, I think king d6 and king d5 idea will be in there. And if the king gets a really good stronghold on that, I'm not sure in white's chances. Black can also try to trade it maybe when the time is right. Actually, even take it. Yes, makes sense. Why not? Let's start pushing the pawn forward all the way down, and then some bishop c3 ideas should be good. Seems like Arkady doesn't want to give up any of his pawns, and he really wants to push the f pawn instead, which is another winning idea, no doubt about it. So what is white gonna do? Here, check, that's a good one. King can take because of bishop d2, otherwise the f pawn is running down the board, and I don't feel like white is going to save this position. Ladies and gentlemen, whoever is watching, don't be shy to write some things in the comment if you would like to cheer him up. And on the way to 2800. And also, don't forget to click the like and subscribe on this channel. We are just starting and trying to hit the 100 subscribers, and then we will have some good plans connected to that. So rook b3 is taking all the pawns. We'll trade off the rooks as well. And another victory. Okay, let's see. Things are going really well. No doubt. Getting back-to-back wins. And against Tiki, he actually has played against this person already at this point. Yes, indeed. There's another game. Bishop g5 setups. It seems like Arkady really likes knight d7, c5 ideas. Queen b6 on the board. Maybe will he consider some f6? He does. Go for it even. g5, h5, g4 right away. Okay, that's an interesting approach. Usually it goes with h5 ideas when if pawn goes forward. Just to take it, but let's have a look. So c takes d4, e takes d4, e5. We're not ready yet, so we activate the bishop. Bishop f4 leads to just captures, and everything is going to be fine. Maybe he's planning to go for f5. What a move. Queen d6 was the threat, I believe. Yes, and now f4 is coming, but knight e2. Okay, something like knight f6, knight e4. He's controlling the time really well. I like that fact. Maybe at some point the king just needs to come up on f7, stabilize the position a little bit, then look for the opportunities of bishop d7, e6, and then go for the breakthrough. Let's see. Short castle. Okay. So after bishop d3, maybe knight e4, perhaps. Doesn't look that bad. There will be knight d5. No, that doesn't really work out that well. e6. What is the next step? Short castle. Bishop d7. Maybe he'll try to activate the rook there. But this knight is getting to some squares. e5 is kind of a deadly approach. We don't want to end up there. But what to do? Trading off the bishops is a smart choice for white. If, let's say, we trade it off and they attack the pawn on h5, it's not too clear. Maybe black will just go rook c8 and then knight e4 ideas as well. Queen d6, all right. g3, I guess. What is he planning to do? This b5, b4 idea, is it time to go for it? Because it does look like the king side is more or less stabilized. Well, I don't feel like knight getting there is a big deal. g7. White might just get attacked on the king side themselves. Some f4, g3, here we go. That's what I was talking about, because they have moved the pieces so awkwardly that now black might have the upper hand on the king side. g3 on display. If pawn takes, rook takes back, 94 ideas will be in the air as well. Black will try to bring the rook to g7 too, which is not going to be bad at all. Rook f3. Okay, rook goes back on g7, rook gets to f8, knight g4 or knight e4 will be coming up. It's going to be a really, really nice one. Let's see what is coming up. So let's say rook g7, and then what? Knight g4, knight takes, pawn takes or f takes, rook takes. Yeah, there are too many options, but it does look like this pawn structure looks good. Just king somewhere and then bring the rook to g8 square. So rook g8 is coming. What is white going to do? Any g3, queen h6. We can't allow that. Is there a king h7? Because it doesn't look like there is any sacrifices. This bishop does a tremendous job holding everything together. Let's double up the rooks. We'll keep our king safe. If something, rook g6 as well will be in there. And is it time or just queen tuck? Okay, he doesn't go for that because the rooks are quite good, it seems, at the end of the day without the bishop, especially queen e7 is on the board, which we expected on the previous move, but it wasn't available because of bishop f5. Now the queen gets there. f4 is coming up at some point, but again, this bishop is annoying. Maybe some kind of trade he needs to look for. Queen f6 is an interesting one. If something, we go there. f4 is also on display. There are some tricks which white must handle it. Okay, he's preparing f4. Finally, once and for all, that should be the best move right now. Here we go, f4 on the board. If the trades will be happening, the queen is getting activated. I think that should be bad, isn't it? Or is there no breakthrough? Are you serious? King h1? No, rook g3 should be good already. Minimum. By trading it off everything, it's unclear, but they're so low on time at this point. It's important to make the decision quickly. e5, queen takes. That's the problem. But there is a check. Goes here, another check, and he will be able to grab the rook. There is king f3, bishop g4. King f3, bishop g4, king e3. Not sure what's next. Maybe something like queen takes b2, but there is queen down. Something must be played real quick. Try to hurry up or cut it. Even capturing here will be fine. I know queen e8, queen e5, but time is a very decisive factor. It's probably going to be a draw, but no, takes it. Queen takes c5, rook g4. Hurry up. It's important to bring the king. Oh, such a painful defeat. Yes, that was a tough one. He just outplayed, got all the position needed, and all of a sudden, it's quite sad. Quite sad. h5 is coming up here, d3, okay. It's very direct and rude attack on the flank, like nothing matters. Just go all in. It's not a bad approach. If you get a chance to do that, why not? Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to subscribe it. Help us to get to 80 subscribers. For today, we have 75 at the moment, just 5 subscribers away. And it does look like the bishop weirdly got stuck right while we were talking about it. Is there c4? Grab the pawn here as well. I know it does give black some kind of counterplays, maybe d4 outpost something, but still will not be that bad. Maybe now and then taking on c5. Here we go. c4 on the board, capturing on c5 with the knight or with something, but there is queen a5 coming up. Perhaps it was better to do it earlier, but again, queen d8, queen a5 was coming. So long castle in case the c5 pawn is under attack. Knight d4. What's next? Bishop takes, maybe pawn takes, and then something like 95. Why did he take it with that pawn? That was a bit odd decision. But okay, we will take the pawn. No doubt. Why not? There is no reason. Bishop f5, what comes next? Maybe g4, if takes it, we're going to take it back, and bishop g2 will be coming up as well. Looks like white is doing really great in the situation. If bishop e4, there is queen e4. He tried to do prophylactical move just in case to avoid some kind of pressure later on. King b1, what's next? Yeah, that just looks absolutely lost for black. Knight c6, he blundered that as well, and that's it. Black resigns. Here we go. We need to make a comeback to 2700. Went a little bit below. This game was really painful. That actually dropped us quite badly down, but it's okay. We'll keep going now and waiting for the pairing. See, when it comes up, we are going to start. Let's have a look. What do we have? At the moment, no games. Oh, why? What's up? Maybe no pairings. Here we go. Against the candidate master Otrov from Mexico in bullet rated 2773 and in place 2542. So we have the King's Indian attack one more time with d4. It's not King's Indian attack anymore. Went for regular Catalan setups against the King's Indian from black's perspective. h3, bring the king up, maybe e4 at this point, or e3. He chooses to attack on the queen side, all in. Knight takes, rook b1, b4 ideas will be coming up as well. Why not? It's not a bad continuation at all. Bishop to d2. Okay, let's see what's next. a5, e4. Okay, rook e1, potentially bishop f, rook bishop f4. Is there? I was always wondering in the situations if any knight b5 ideas are in there, and I always want to make it work, but it frequently doesn't work. It just needs a very specific time for that. So queen d2, rook d1 should be coming up. b3 is also okay. Maybe knight e6 and e5 ideas isn't really too bad either. So is it coming? Rook d1, rook d8 probably. Some good regroupment of the pieces, perhaps these, and tucking it back, or e5 somewhere, so the queen doesn't really belong on d2, since you're not planning to go for knight b5 right away. So let's have a look. King h2 on the board, probably trying to go for g4 ideas, but okay. Black response with h5, understandably. Perhaps now it's time to look for f4, e5 opportunities, which is not bad either. Let's just have a look how things go. And knight h7. Okay, the bishop can go on e3, but there is bishop d4. That's not a good news. The threat should be covered. How exactly? Let's say b4 is not going to help us. If we move the rook away, there is bishop d4. It's possible to... Yeah, I guess it's time to give up a pawn. With queen d4, there is this knight b3, very annoying move, but if we do take it, bishop needs to take it back. That might be okay. Or actually, pawn will take it. He goes for it. He goes for the sacrifice. See what he has planned. On knight takes c1, on knight g5 is there immediately. That's very, very unpleasant. But rook b1. Rook b1 was a nice save, by the way. I like it. I actually thought that white could get away with it, but it doesn't look like. Keeps the chances available. The knight doesn't have any square to go. It's important to get rid of this guy from c4. Everything else will be fine. But d5 comes right in time to play this d4. That's quite unfortunate. but we have got some chances. Knight comes back, attacking it. And how's he going to deal with it? Is the pawn running down the board like that without any fear? There was 94 idea, I think. F6, knight e3. Does it work? Takes, bishop e4. I5 as well. Unpleasant. Okay, the final push. Takes. Maybe taking here also looks good. Maybe it's possible to make a draw this position, even though black does have the edge. Oh, takes on b7. What was that? Just bishop c6. Okay, well, there is absolutely zero problem at this point. And maybe it's time to bring the bishop on time. Time is the main enemy in this situation, it seems. It's time to take on g6, just maybe f5 as well. It's very important just because he gets some counterplay. f6 is coming on the way. Hopefully it will be enough time to make a draw. Yeah, giving up that pawn was not nice at all. Fortunately, it doesn't look nice. Just fighting. That last thought, but there is a huge difference in time. It's quite unfortunate. Like he's out there fishing. And bishop f3 gave black a good opportunity to take it. That was an unfortunate run. Didn't work out well. Bullet section, Arkady. Bullet section is tough.
No, but I just got, to be honest, a little bored because
lot of games already back to back. Yes.
No, but just it would be nice to play somebody strong because this is like, for example, in the current game. Okay, just maybe upload the last game just to see.
Just a moment. I will be uploading the last game. Here we go. We are in the online studies, the last chapter. The floor is yours.
Let me go a little. Let me find it. So my studies and online games you have, or
yes,
no, study just
studies.
So this is a
online
game?
games. 9.
No.
The last.
This is, yeah. Let me go there. So the last online games, yeah. So this position, okay. So this is like normal play. For example, ED. Of course, that's not the point of the opening, yeah, obviously. So ED is just not the way to play. And for example, here, the idea of black is obviously to avoid that white gets e4. So after playing e4, bishop f4 is basically already extremely bad for black, like extremely bad. Bishop e6, for example. No, but after such a move like bishop e6, it's just quite boring to play because it's a huge positional error. It makes absolutely no sense to play bishop e6 because just bad, yeah. White can even take on e6, and this is like much better position for white. So bishop e6 is just horrible. Rook d7 also horrible. Okay, this position, computer, for example, h5, just to be sure that you lose with black. This position is like +2, +3 already. Yeah, it's like almost over. So yeah. I think we have to find, Georgi, somebody to play with because otherwise it's just a bit boring, to be honest. Yeah, to
How
play
about
players like that is not much fun. I think for the next time, maybe we can think of something. Then it's like more fun because it's nice to play games against good players, but for example, something like this, as well as the previous games, yeah, you see that it's just a bit not very exciting, yeah, to be honest. Then it's difficult to focus, yeah. So it would be nice, yeah, maybe we can think of something to play some good guys, because it's so exciting to play the good players. But like this, I think, as well for you, it's not that exciting to comment, no? Because not much is going on, yeah.
It's okay, but when it
Like,
comes to, whenever we'll be playing against the good players, high rated ones, and titled grandmasters and so on, it will be different action happening for sure.
yes, much more, because they have ideas, they plan something. Now, currently, I'm playing people who just try to trick in one move, and in case it doesn't work, then they resign. Yeah, so it's not like super funny, to
Exactly.
be honest. But
Exactly.
okay, let's see. By the way, why nobody's writing anything in the chat? It's like completely empty. I can
There
see
are
it.
a couple
They
of
somehow,
chats, couple of messages only, but
yes,
that's it.
not so much. Not so much. Okay, Georgi, so for today, what I suggest, maybe let me play 5 last games.
Mhm.
And for tomorrow, maybe, or for the next days, we will think of something to make it more exciting to play, to fight, just to have more fun.
Sure.
I think
All set will
we
be
will think on
preferable.
something, yeah. All right. Okay. So I turn off the sound. I play last 5 games.
Go on.
Then
Let's go for it.
that's it for today. And for the next time, we're gonna, yeah, think of something which will be exciting. Good. All right.
Let's do it. Okay, hello, Wildora, Tempest, welcome on board. And we have another game coming up. See how things go. It already started. So Yamalchik rated 2660. We have Nimzo Indian this time on the board, other than typical King's Indian setups. Let's see how things will go. Bishop e7, and we have got Bogo Indian as well, which actually this variation, I always thought that black is doing fine, especially after bishop e4. Trading off the light squared bishops is mandatory. There is another famous continuation of playing knight e4, followed by f5, and so on, which actually is not too bad, but trading off the bishop just looks preferable. At some point, c5, rook c8 ideas will be coming. Just taking on d4, followed by rook takes c4 is great. Maybe queen e7, or just trying to kind of double up the rooks along the file. We'll just test it out. Here, rook c7 or taking right away, I'm not sure, but at least he's preparing for that. I think if we double up the rooks, white must go for d5, but it's not happening right now because the pawn is going to get lost, which probably white missed in the calculation. It's a good news for us, no doubt. Gets the pawn, that's it, gets the job done. After c4, knight goes back, potentially knight e5 is coming, going after this piece on d3. What is white going to do? We go knight e5. Not sure. Let's say knight takes c5, d takes c5, double up the rooks here as well. Maybe we can try to go for this. I don't know, like takes it, knight c6, knight d4, which is also an interesting approach. Bishop f2 was unexpected, because it kind of gives away the f4 outpost at any moment, and it is in black's disposal, which is a good news, no doubt. Let's see. So, knight g7, knight f4, oh boy. This knight jumping there is not a good news at all. Need to handle it well. It's a little bit unpleasant. But at least the knight is going in this direction, and we can try to exchange it off. White gets some counterplay, but I don't think it's so long-term. If the knights get traded especially, it's going to be good news. Otherwise, this knight e6, knight d4 might be in there. White is down a pawn at the moment, but it's not so obvious because of the piece activity. But how about just taking it? If the rook takes knight b4, is it fine to get into this ending? Because he's going to take the pawn on a2 at the end. Probably it was possible, but Arkady chose a different approach. E5 is quite unpleasant. So something like knight b4, let's say, trade off everything at the end of it and grab the pawn on a2. Maybe white would have tried rook d7 later, but still, knight e5 is a good approach. I like this a lot. Going after the c4 pawn. And well, what? If e takes, we're gonna take it. This pawn for now, we're holding on. If opponent takes it, there is rook d8 followed by capturing, so it's going to be fine. White probably tries to maneuver the bishop on that direction. Interesting approach. Let's see. Bishop c3, maybe takes on e5 is an interesting one. Bishop takes c5. Well, white is fighting for the activity, no doubt. Knight a5, knight c6, finally the knight is getting into the action, but the dark square of weaknesses, I'm afraid, is too dangerous. But how is white going to execute it? If this black is doing absolutely fine, the c4 pawn, if the bishop just goes back on b2, then knight c6, knight d4 will always be there, just in case. f6, I think, also is fine too. But okay, queen c3, knight d4, of course. If we force white to give up the exchange for it, it's just going to be game over. Queen d3. Is there no way to hold the knight? Okay, trading off the rooks, that's a good motive, no doubt. And something like maybe this perhaps takes it, check, goes up, there is another check. The king is actually kind of coming down. It doesn't do much though. That's the unpleasant part of it. What else? Otherwise, if the knight moves, it's quite dangerous. I think bishop d4 will be played right now. It does look like the king kind of escapes. Say queen d4, rook e2 goes up. If check here, if h5, just king g5. It's such an unfortunate turnaround that the king is escaping. So we need to choose plan B, which is giving different checks and not leaving the back rank unprotected. Perhaps queen g2 or queen e2 is also fine. Threatening this, it's going to be a checkmate. There is no rook d8. So goes for check, comes back. Try to stabilize the position, but here it's already the bullet section. He definitely needs to hurry up. Objectively, it's going to... Oh, he could actually take it and give a check and grab that as well. But okay, well, it's a bit weird what white is doing right now. I can just start running down the board. On the board, I don't feel like they will be in time. Let's push another pawn as well. Maybe a4, rook b8, I don't know what, like something, rook d2 check. Go for another one. Perhaps some move like, is white exactly in time? Are you serious? It's time to give checks, because right after white decides to promote, it might be decisive. Another check, another one. He still needs to keep checking at this point, and it ends up with the draw. That was a good one because he was so low on time. Otherwise, he could try to press as well. And the bullet section, everything turned out to be quite tricky. Might be decent. That's a good nickname, no doubt. Let's have a look how things turn out. We have got the Sicilian, but this time we have the Sveshnikov variation, Kalashnikov actually, with d6, f5, and then black really wants to activate the knight, get the knight jumping on d4 square, which is going to be quite nice, and getting all the counterplay. If e takes, there is bishop f5, which actually works out well. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to give the stream a thumbs up, help us to reach the 10 likes. If a little bit above will be better. And also trying to reach the 100 subscribers benchmark. So your support is highly appreciated. You know how it works. The beginning steps are always the hardest for the new channel. After knight d5, maybe knight takes, pawn takes, what, like knight going back and trying to turn around, which I think will be absolutely fine. Is there any way to sacrifice it? I don't think so. g6 will be annoying. h6 is possible. Queen g6, rook f6. I don't see much for white. Obviously, they would love to have the knight jumping on e4 at some point, but it's not happening anytime soon. So black has everything under control. Rook does a tremendous job. The knight will soon start running down the board and support the pieces. And this knight on c2 is so much misplaced. Okay, g3 is logical, but it's time to bring the knight. If pawn takes, maybe even knight f8 first, and then look at the rest. Let's say queen e4 and potentially bishop f5 followed by rook g6 idea as well. Why not? What is exactly white going to do in this situation? It's unclear at the moment. So knight f8 and bishop f5 is there. Knight c5 perhaps followed by bishop f5 to b4. What is going on b4? Maybe a5, but it's not kind of mandatory. He can just try to trade off the pieces, which actually looks good to finally get rid of this monster. Any f3 there, no need. And let's bring the knight in action. Yes, that already looks good. Queen d7, at least the king is already safe. No fireworks anymore, so it's time to bring the rook right there. Queen h3, knight h4 ideas. It looks good already for black, I believe. Such a bad knight on c2. Literally any other square would be better. I think not h1 specifically, but all the others does make sense. Queen h3, knight h4. We're looking at this idea for some time. Maybe it's going to be decisive at this point. Let's have a look. Queen h3, knight h4 is on the way. What is black going to do now? Let's check it out. What is possible to do? I'm not sure exactly. Knight h4. Okay, the idea is clear. f3. That should be a crashing through idea. And white should be lost because if queen f1, there is a check here. Everything just works out well. But knight e3. Does it really prevent everything? Damn it. So the thing is that in case of queen f1, there was this check followed by rook g2, but knight comes on e3, and you want to say that everything is fine. I don't believe that. Oh, okay, there might be e4, actually. And if the queen takes rook f4, and the queen goes, but there is queen e6. Okay, he might just need to play long term, just give it up and go for rook f4. And if something like this check, just take on h4. Okay, he does go for queen takes h4 right away. If e4 will be on the board, it's unclear. It will benefit who? Hopefully black. And now what? Let's say rook g6. Yes, if pawn takes, I'm going to take it back with the bishop. Attack the pawn on h2, which is going to be absolutely fine. What else? Let's say if c takes, we'll take it back. That actually looks good. I'm not sure exactly what white is going to do right now. c6? That's a bit odd. But whoa. This pawn is too dangerous. We can't let it go so far. Okay. I think something queen h3, queen goes back. Queen h4 hanging around. This pawn is coming. Some counterplay real quick. Possible, but probably not. 2 queens for the opening on the board, but very little time. So maybe some counterplay will be there. Queen f5, what is white going to take on? Just, queen g1. Such an annoying move, though. What did he find? Unbelievable. Such a nice option he found. How come that it was not winning for black, though? Everything was coming down the board. Okay, not so good at the end, probably because of tiredness as well. A lot of games. And we have got h4 on the board. Knight c6, h4. So it's on very aggressive mode, going for all in. Guys, support us, subscribe the channel, just help us to get through this. Bishop e2 takes, knight takes back, maybe rook h3, rook g3 idea. b4, I don't know, he's just gaining the space. Why not? Perhaps the knight can get to e3 square at the end of the day, which is not bad at all. About the d4, if bishop takes, there might be d takes c5, takes there. Not the best shot, so just activates the queen, perhaps knight e3 idea, attacking this and trying to go after the d5 square as well, which is not bad at all. What is black going to do? c6 breakthrough. Okay, it's time to find something. Perhaps knight e3, just to stabilize the pieces a bit more and go for the attack on the king side. But rook d1 with the intention of d4 for sure, I guess, but not ready yet. At the end of the trades, there will be bishop b4, knight e3. Yes, we have it on the board. h5. h5. Look at that. If takes, maybe it's time to bring the king here. Ah, castle. Okay, I thought of king f1, but all right. Castle, knight f4. Maybe something like d4, perhaps. Might be okay to do. And if some trades, bishop b4, move the queen away. Because it does look like black is putting some annoying pressure for absolutely no reason. We need to get out of it. Pawn takes, let's say, goes there, and queen coming here should be good enough. I don't think there is any tactic for now, at least. And then we can just take on g4, fall by e5 ideas, or e5 somewhere along the way should be good enough. So let's have a look. For queen c2, what is he going to do right now? This is the question of the day. His opponent is also in relatively tough situation. We'll just check it out, how he will handle it. So what is next? Took on h4. That's such a lame move in my opinion, but okay, well, it was like pawn is a pawn. I don't get much in the attack, so I'll just go for it. But I think white already has some opportunities to make a comeback. If the pawn takes, there was knight e5 coming, so rook e8 makes sense. If pawn takes, there will be bishop d6. This bishop is so annoying on b4, not allowing white to activate the rook from e1 to e4 coming up. What else? Let's say after rook e6, we might try this. d5 right away. g6. How about g3? h4, knight h2 might be there. Just not too bad. Oh. That's bad. But okay, knight e5 still needs to be played. Queens will get traded, but now at least d5 pawn will be captured. And it's just an extra pawn only, which gives us some chances. Maybe knight d3 and try to grab the bishop as well. I don't feel like white has much to push for the win at this one. h5 pawn, though. Can we not take it? Yes. We can. Rook h4. Just protecting it. Knight c5, okay. Let's see what it gives. Bishop g5. Maybe knight e6, perhaps. Takes it, and is there any f4? No, but knight g5. It should be a draw, ladies and gentlemen. Does look like it. I believe after that, maybe he will finally play this. Or knight c5 again. Rook d5, rook d4, perhaps he wants to do it. It's also good. Okay, at the moment there's no threat. Rook d7. d7 was there. Okay, okay. Not bad, not bad. I feel like I know what tactic is going to come. b5 is a nice one. Takes knight c6. Okay, objectively a draw, but very low on time. Let's see what's going to happen. We do need some bullet skills at the moment. The knight is oddly stuck. It was unpleasant. Okay, coming back. Just need to keep fighting. No turnaround. The knight is stuck there, but activating the king. Moving around. Knight is extremely tricky. Maybe something might appear on the board. Let's just check it out. And my cat wants to join us as well. Hello, Sakura. What would you say about this position? c5, some tricks, something. Black is playing very safe, not letting the knight to get anywhere. It's time to move around. Knight c6 maybe. Is g3 getting through? No, but the king is coming. But okay, well, there will be this g2 coming up. Fortunately, very little amount of time. And that ends up with a bad result, unfortunately. Quite tough turnaround. I think a lot of games Arkady, you've played a lot of games already at this point, I think. It affects
Hey, Georgi.
tough finish, but you played like too many games at this point already.
No,
back
but
to
it's
back.
not tough. It's just extremely boring. When I get bored, I just don't like to play very much. So just extremely boring. No, but some people can do it well. I just don't like it because we're here to enjoy, and then I don't enjoy it all, and then I don't like it. We should find a way that we have interesting games because, okay, to play basically beginners is making not much fun. Maybe then we change. I comment, you play. Because I know that you're good in that, yeah? You enjoy.
I do handle
Because
it okay, that stuff as well. I don't mind it.
no, for me, it's just I don't like so much to play beginners. It's just I don't enjoy Georgi. It's like I can do it sometimes, but not on a daily basis because I see now I'm just so bored, yeah, because the guy is just yeah, not very strong and it's just very boring for me.
Just
so
playing
tomorrow we find maybe
on the clock, right? It's quite common.
No, but
They
no,
do.
not on the clock. Just I don't like when I think in a competition, it's interesting when competition is equal. So this is what I always thought is when you're stronger or when you're weaker, it's just boring. So
I see. I understand.
to do something that is boring, yeah. So we have to find a way to make it more exciting, because like that for me makes not much fun to play. Or you play, or maybe we can make some matches against some
certain players,
decent
perhaps.
players. Yeah. No, but then it's funny, yeah, because like this, it makes not much fun, Georgi, to be honest.
Sure. We'll discuss about
we
it and we'll come up.
We need to think of something, and yeah, we're gonna find the plan.
Sounds good.
Otherwise,
I
yes.
will do it.
Okay, so chat is still empty, Georgi. What been you talking about? Because I did not listen to you, so but the chat is empty.
Well,
Nobody,
I'm not sure why.
no one.
Just only couple of comments we have it in total, but that's it. Couple of things. Not too active the chat today for some reason.
Make everyone afraid.
Seems like. I didn't manage to bring them on. I think they might be just resting some days, just chilling, not wanting to spend time for chess. It's possible as well, actually. Might be one of the key reasons there. But we'll try to keep them on somehow with more exciting things coming up.
Yes, okay, we'll think of something that is more fun to watch. So till tomorrow, thank you very much for watching. And we're gonna think of some format that actually makes fun, so we can enjoy it, because when you do something, you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, there is no sense in doing it. So we will find something funny. We hope you will enjoy watching it, of course. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you tell your friends. Georgi and me, we're gonna stream now. Let's hope on a daily basis in case we can. So eventually, till tomorrow, thank you very much for watching, Georgi.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
See you around, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay in touch.
Bye-bye.